We, we respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng tình, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh. Tình chuyên yêu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly cô đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Cho Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Thoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie wo jin jie wen de shou ci yuan jie ru lai zhe xue yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Sutra, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、智者、大师、师父、上人、各位主持人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Trí Gia Đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa Quý Thầy Cô và quý vị thiện sĩ thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 28th, I believe, of December 2024. We are here at Go Forest to continue discussing the Vimalakirti Sutra. This is first chapter, talking about, right now this section is about the 32,000 Bodhisattvas in attendance. We started with 3 of them already. These Bodhisattvas, there are 32,000 of them. And it's kind of interesting because as I prepared for the lecture today, I went through the explanation of Master Sutra, and I realized how incredibly fortunate that we are to be able to study his teachings. I feel his teaching is so advanced, so much more so than Master YongHua's teachings. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to study it with you. So thank you for that. This is the fourth Bodhisattva in attendance. These are, it's kind of country. Each sutra has their own kind of Bodhisattvas in attendance, and it's what's striking to me is in most these sutras, the Bodhisattva in attendance were like big deals. They bring their retinues, they are surrounded by a lot of their bodyguards and so forth, and people were excited. Their retinues are very excited to be able to accompany them to these big meetings. And you see how low-key it is with these bodhisattvas. They basically said there are 32,000 bodhisattvas, and here are the names. And as you go through what their Dharma door is about, then you realize how big they really are. They're humongous, to the point where there's no description of where they sit, what kind of lotus days they might have, or what kind of retinues they might have. Okay? Totally absent. You notice that so far. Okay, Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi. This is it. This is him. So, seems like he's a loner. Okay? And I assure you, these bodhisattvas are extremely influential. They show up there to certify the assembly as being very significant. So in a way, for the scholars to look at the sutra as something of the Vaipulya period, to me is hogwash. It's not true. Because these bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, more likely they're Buddhas as well. Many of them are Buddhas already, pretending to be mahasattvas. And they're there to certify the importance of the assembly and the teaching that's contained in the sutra. And certainly, it's a lot more advanced than Vaipulya. Vaipulya, so you don't know, first teaching is Agama, that's for Arhats, kind of very low level. And then next teaching is Vaipulya, which basically the Buddha said, don't get a big head, don't get a big nose, because what you learn is nothing yet. There's a lot more going on. I'm going to teach you Vaipulya, which is sort of brings you to the next important Dharma you need to learn, which is the separate Dharma of the Bodhisattvas. That's where the real fun begins. What you have so far is nothing. And so it's funny, I read somewhere in the sutra, one of the sutra's explanations, it claims that this is Vaipulya teaching, because typically these people, when they explain sutras, the scholars, they would like to classify the type of teachings contained in each sutra, and somehow the Vimalakirti Sutra is considered to be Vaipulya teaching, which is slightly higher than Hinayana, but much lower than the Prajna teachings of the Bodhisattvas. All right, and so do not be fooled by this. There's one single name, Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi.
定自在王菩萨
And right there, he just described it again. To me, it's funny. It's only one person. But how could it be one person? Would the emperor ever go by himself? Okay, so what it means is that these bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, are surrounded by so many invisible beings that they don't want to draw attention to themselves at all. Okay? So that's how big they really are. The bigger you are, the more you want to go unnoticed. Okay? They value the privacy, I guess. So what is this Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi? 定自在. And this is when you really, really appreciate the depth of Master Tuja. I never really appreciated that because his disciple ruined it for me. When I wanted to learn about meditation, because Master YongHua died and all of them, his disciples claimed to be experts in meditation. So each one of them had a version of Master Hsuan Hua's Weiyang chant. And so the young abbot of CTTB gave me a paper on the contemplation Dharma of Master Sutra in Chinese, because I asked him, so what is the best chant Dharma I should be learning? And he gave me this paper of how Master Sutra taught about the three contemplations of the true, contemplation of the false, and contemplation in the middle. You don't give that to an idiot. Those contemplations are for people a certain level that's designed to help them cultivate. You don't just read it and then see you can start contemplating the empty and the false and the middle. That's so instinctively back then I said, what are you talking about? I have no, first of all, I can't speak Chinese. I don't understand the paper, and for you to give me a paper like that, I think you're trying too hard to impress me with the highest form of meditation technique, okay? Which also tells me you don't know anything about Weiyang Chan at all. Your master never taught you anything, nor your brothers. Anyway, and so here Master Sutra says, for this particular Mahasattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi, it says here, the name tells you that his Samadhi is so strong that he attained self-mastery to his Samadhi. Okay? And Master Sutra explained that how he arrived there. I mean, so this is, you understand that someone of Master Sutra would not make a commentary unless he understands how to do it. This is their level of integrity of these people. Okay? Strange people come out of woodworks. But anyway, so you see, for Master Sutra to say this, you have to ponder, okay? Because he says that this particular Mahasattva became enlightened at his level, meaning he's basically just between us, he's either a Buddha or so close to Buddhahood. These 32,000 Bodhisattvas, let me assure you, okay? And so that's why they're so low-key. There's no description about where they came from, who accompanies them. No big deal is made of it at all, because they're there not to be recognized. They're there to certify the Dharma spoken by the Buddha is extremely advanced. It's so cool. And it's a proof right here in Master Sutra, okay, who says, for this guy to make it, this Mahasattva to make it, okay, he contemplates the nature of the mind. Whatever it means, you contemplate the nature of your mind, not your false mind, but your Buddha mind. How's that? Okay, you see, it's not for you, it's not for us, but it shows you that this is this level of cultivation that is important for you to hear about, because you are so limited by your thinking mind that's what's stopping you from becoming enlightened, from stopping you from reaching the level of your true self. Okay? And so So when you hear the word in Buddhism, the mind nature, it refers to your true mind. Whatever it is, you don't need to understand. Okay? What it is not your mind, the one you think. Okay, your thinking mind, your logical mind, your reasoning mind, your calculating mind is not it. Okay? So in order to look at this true mind of yours, or the nature of your true mind, or your true nature, okay, it's not what you think. How's that? You don't know what it is. All you have to do is, it's not what I think. Am I making sense to you? I'm revealing to you a lot of secrets that's not explained by the Chinese, by the Vietnamese, by the Koreans, and so forth. I don't know why. Maybe I ate something today for lunch. Okay, you're bored to death. Okay, never mind. Let's move on. I give up. And so, at his level, Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery and Samadhi, okay, what does he do? He contemplates the nature of his true mind, okay? And by contemplating that, he attains supreme Samadhi. You don't need to understand, okay? I'm merely pointing out to you how he does it. And that in itself is a tremendous gift from Master Chucha. Because no one else will be able to explain that to you, not Master YongHua, not me, not anyone else. Because it takes a person who's done it to be able to understand what these Bodhisattvas must do to get there. Okay? Again, sometimes when you listen to Dharma, it's not about understanding, it's about simply merely listening. And that in itself is an incredible gift from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Now, what is that called? I talked about it last night. Anyone remembers? Huh? It's called literary prajna. You need to hear it. And what's most important is not to reject it. Just hear it. Let it enter your ear organ. Let it do whatever it's supposed to do. Let the Buddha power, the Bodhisattva power does what it's supposed to do naturally, okay? Because it's why they spoke the sutra here. Because when the information passes through your ear organ, it does wonderful things that creates literary prajna, wisdom. And what makes you different from the rest is that you hear it and you don't reject it. Don't be like these intellectuals who says, that's nonsense. I disagree. There's no proof, no foundation, no basis for this. Of course, there's no basis because of your limited thinking mind cannot possibly conceive of a basis for this teaching. Only your true mind will be able to penetrate it. And what is the difference between a true mind and the false mind? Anybody? What's the difference between your false mind and the true mind? No one knows? I use these big words and everyone appear to be impressed. And I ask you a very fundamental question. What is the difference between the true mind and the false mind? Speak. Yes, JMT.
들리세요? 네. 탐진치가 있어서 아상과 에고가 있는 개입된, 그러니까 탐진치가 있는 아상과 에고가 개입된 마음이 거짓 마음이라고 말씀드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
The first mind has a greed, anger, stupidity, ego, and then the mark of self.
And the second one?
네. 두 번째가 진짜 마음이요? 탐진치, 아상과 에고가 없는 게 진짜 마음이라고 생각합니다.
The true mind doesn't have those things.
Okay, so let's make it very personal. You have the true mind or your husband has a true mind?
둘 다 현재 진정한 마음이.
Be careful, be careful.
마스터, 남편이 먼저 대답해도 될까요?
Master, can my husband answer first?
Do you believe that your husband has a true mind? Is the question. Be careful.
마스터,
This
저는
is,
마스터,
we only have a couple more days left before year end. There's no need to start a new war. Why don't you think about it? Because I would take my time to answer this question. I will ask the same thing with Ngọc as well. Do your husband who's follow Phả Luân Cung, does he have a true mind or a false mind? Yes, go ahead, Wei Mountain. And feel free to jump in, you Chinese people who know everything already.
Thank you, Master. I believe the true mind has wisdom and the false mind does not.
True mind has wisdom, false mind has no wisdom, and the true mind has wisdom. It's a very safe answer. Anyone else? See, the Chinese have said, we know it. You guys got it from us. Therefore, we are the true beholder of the Dharma. Yes, 6.
I remember Master said all the thoughts are the false mind, so I think the true mind is no thoughts.
The true mind has no thought. So what does the true mind do? I mean, like, you have this true mind here, it has no thought. So what does it do all day? Does it bother you? Huh? I told you. Why are you fasting? What happened to your true mind? Huh? When you fast? KU2. What's the difference?
혜순 선생님의 답변입니다. 불성이 드러난 마음이 진짜 마음이라고 하십니다.
When the Buddha nature appeared, it's a true mind.
Buddha nature appears as a true mind. Okay, can't argue with that. But you know what you're talking about. What's the Buddha nature when it appears? What happens when the Buddha nature appears? Geez, you guys use so many big words. I'm not sure you know what you're talking about. Anyone? Huh? Yes, Vietnam, from the land of Vietnam. Yeah, 6. What's the true mind versus a false mind?
Emitofuo Master, I just want to try. My false mind is always thinking.
Always kinky?
thinking. And true mind is not thinking.
True mind not thinking. Okay, I can't argue with that. Okay, it's year end anyway. I have to be nice. Anyone else? What is the difference between the false mind that the Buddhists keep on talking about versus the true mind that everyone hears about? That's it? Yes, 6.
真心是清净的心，然后妄心是不清净的心。
So the true mind is pure, is a pure mind, and the false mind is the impure one.
So which one do we have? The true mind or the false mind? Yes, Wei Mountain. When you talk about impure mind, are we talking about your mind? Which mind is it? Yes, Wei Mountain. Go ahead.
So the true mind, I believe, knows things directly without any thought or processing, or even if you mentioned it like multi-dimensionally, it just knows things, and then the thinking mind is just processing like step by step in a deductive way.
Okay, that's a safe definition. Okay, anyone else? I asked you about the two different kinds of minds, the false mind and the true mind, because I'm going to ask you for a purpose. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. To answer your question, I believe everybody has both the true mind and the false mind. The difference is that not everybody knows how to enter Samadhi and access their true mind.
Okay. He thinks so lowly of yourself. It's so typical of pale-faced people. They don't have the technology, unlike the Chinese people who say, we yellow, we know everything there is to know about the Buddha mind, whereas you white people don't know anything, okay? And you believe everything they tell you. Anyone else? Yes, JC.
false mind은 가짜이기 때문에 일어났다 사라지고 영원할 수 없는 것 같습니다. 그리고 true mind는 진짜이기 때문에 상주불변 영원히 지혜로서 존재할 것 같습니다.
Let me guess what his answer is. He says, I have the true mind, my wife has the false mind. And he's very sure about this. Is that correct? Or you need to translate?
Master, false mind arise and die. It's not permanent. The true mind is permanent.
The true mind permanent. Okay, that's not wrong. Next, JC.
오염된 마음은 이제 나를 위하는 마음이고 청정한 마음은 남을 위하는 마음입니다.
Impure mind is to get the gain for myself, and pure mind is to think about others.
Okay, very good. Let me tell you why it's relevant here. Remember at 185 here, and I'll go back to DTT very soon for you. Don't worry, we still have room for you to express your ignorance. It says here, Master Sutra is fascinating. He says, this guy here, he can contemplate the nature of his mind and immediately enters supreme samadhi. How about that? It's so cool. Master Sutra knows, he says, for this guy here to enter the supreme self-mastery of Samadhi, all he has to do is contemplate the nature, his true mind, boom, that's it. And that's a true state of this Mahasattva. Isn't it fascinating to you? Not to you? Oh, never mind. It's okay. Next, DTT.
Emitofuo Master.
You have quite a ways to go, haven't you? You think you understand everything already.
No.
Yeah, you don't
No,
know
Master,
anything about the true mind yet.
Just thinking in different perspective.
And that's a difference between what you learn in Europe versus what you learn here in the US.
True mind and false mind, there are no difference because both are manifestation of the Buddha nature.
She's so sure of herself. She doesn't know what she's talking about, but she sounded so sure of herself. You know what you're talking about? You know what the Buddha nature is?
No, Master, I'm ignorant.
Then why do you bring up the manifestation of Buddha nature? You speaking theories only. You don't even know what you're talking about. What is the Buddha nature? I'm going to pin her down. These Mexican people, you cannot trust them. Huh? What is the Buddha nature you talked about? Is blue?
I don't know how to
Is it
express.
black? Is it big? Is it small? What is it?
All we can see.
You can see it.
All. I mean, like, I don't know. I just like guessing, like, it's all. It pervades all the cosmos and the universe.
This
including
woman,
the false.
This woman sounds so sure of herself, but I don't think she knows what she's talking about. Not bad. You enjoy this too much. Okay? For someone who doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay? In Buddhism, it's not taught for us. For example, just before I told you, because Master Teacher says this particular Mahasattva, in order for him to enter Samadhi, is how fast it is for him. This supreme Samadhi here, he's untouchable. No one can move him. No one. Not the wife, not the husband, not the children, not money, nothing whatsoever in this world can move it. And that's all it takes for him to enter this supreme Samadhi self-mastery. Fascinating. How is it possible? Is it possible to you? See? So they know what they're talking about, okay? And within the Samadhi here, this Bodhisattva is able to attain self-mastery. So it's his self-mastery. If you are, see, I have no self-mastery, that's why I got distracted so easily. Okay, so this guy here, in order for him to get there, boom, he enters this Samadhi. Okay? Just like that. By looking at his mind nature. Okay? The nature of his mind. He look at his nature, his mind, say, he entered this Samadhi, first of all. Okay? When he entered this Samadhi, he's totally unmoved by anything. Not by money, not by love, not by hate, not by anything whatsoever. Is that of interest to you? No? Yeah? Why? You are so greedy for someone who's poor. It sounded too good to, so good to you. You say, oh wow, if I could do that, I have total self-mastery. Yes? No one can think, nothing can move me. And that is, you know what is that called? You so happy by yourself. You don't need anything, anyone, whatsoever. Huh? Because right now, we happy when our wives are sweet to us. Oh, she loves me. You fool. Okay? Because our world is still dual. Okay? We cannot be happy unless we are the object of someone's love. Daniel, put your hands down. For a while, the guy thought of becoming a monk, and then he got a girlfriend, he gave it up so quickly. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay. You cannot complete until someone loves you. Yeah? Now he says, I'm afraid to hurt her feelings. Of course we are. It's called love. Yes, go ahead, K YouTube.
유은혜선님의 답변입니다. 삼진치를 벗어난 마음이 참마음 아닐까요?
The true mind doesn't have the greed, anger, stupidity.
It's true. Okay. Weimang.
Thank you, Master. Just to share, I had the blessings this year to travel to several different countries. And just to answer your question about the Buddha nature, two things I learned for sure. One, the Buddha nature speaks Spanish. And two, I'm pretty sure it's Latino. Pura vida.
Pretty sure it's what?
Latino.
The Buddha nature is Latino. Latina or Latino.
Sí, correcto.
Boy, are you in trouble?
Okay. I also think, while I'm at it, the Buddha nature is Hankook, Korean, Saranghaeyo. I also think the Buddha nature is Chinese, Ni Hao. And I definitely think the Buddha nature is Vietnamese, Gamang.
Sounds like Republicans. I thought he was Democrat. Actually, deep down he's a Republican. Ask his JC. Yeah.
공을 관합니다.
Have you found your Buddha nature yet? The nature of your mind yet? Chungin Sunim? I just taught you how to enter this samadhi. You know what I'm... Huh?
공을 관합니다.
So that the next time a nun yells at you, what do? It's very personal for you. He says, how come the nuns, the Sunims always yell at me? I don't get it. I'm the boss, but they yell at me. How can someone lower than you yell at you? He still hasn't figured it out yet. So next time Teji Sunim yells at you, what are you supposed to do?
예, 공을 관하겠습니다.
Contemplate emptiness.
That she's empty? What emptiness are we talking about? Why do you think we teach you all these things? What are you contemplating as empty?
불성의 성품을 공하다고 권하겠습니다.
The nature of Buddha nature is
No. Let me teach you a much more scary thing to Teji Sunim. You want to scare her, don't you? Because if you don't scare her, she'll keep on screaming at you. It's just that I never taught you how to deal with someone, to scare someone who's yelling at you, have no respect for you. Okay, who's manic, who cannot help herself. Okay, here's what you do. Every time she yells at you, okay, you look at yourself as empty. So she yells through space. You become as empty as the air. And that's one of the most scary things, because you're yelling at emptiness. We acquire these skills in order to use them at the proper times. Because I used to send them to the CTTB for training, to let them get beaten up, and they become so weak, and I need now to train them how to beat each other up. She looked at her. She said, yeah. Yeah, of course. There's skills involved here. So every time Teji Sunim becomes manic and she keeps yelling on the top of her lungs at you, okay? Because in her mind, she's yelling at someone. Is that clear? And if you react to it, you're confirming to her that she's yelling at this person. On the other hand, if you empty yourself, then she's yelling into empty space, and she can yell all she wants. She will drain herself, and you're not affected whatsoever. But as long as you say, hey, how come she's yelling at me? Then you still are a target for her anger, and therefore she's draining you. Whereas if you empty yourself and she yells into emptiness, she drains herself. And she'll become so tired so fast. You understand? This is called Kung Fu. We let them punch into the void. That's why the more you become empty, the harder they try. What happened? And they try harder and harder. They drain themselves a lot faster. This is how you beat them up, without lifting a finger. This is what Master YongHua never taught his disciples. That's why they all try to beat you up. Idiots. You empty yourself so that when they yell at you, okay, the Buddha nature knows that something is missing. But they couldn't figure it out. So they keep on trying harder. What happened to him? And they drain themselves to death. Some of them might even die of exhaustion. How's that for Kung Fu? That's the most scary thing you can do to people, is drain them. And you can do it, Chungyin. Teach Teji a lesson one of these days. If you do it, and one day you realize that Teji Sunim face becomes white, and then green, and then black, then you know you made it. But as long as she keeps on yelling at you, that means you have not emptied yourself completely yet.
Yes, Master. Thank you.
This is why I teach you this is a kind of self-defense by not being offensive. Master YongHua never taught his disciples, that's why they take the offense. They attack you to see how strong you are. We don't attack people. We empty ourselves when we're under attack. So if your Kung Fu is higher, you will drain the heck out of them. Do you understand? It's a different form of Kung Fu. There is low Wei Yang, ours advanced Wei Yang. This is how we fight in Wei Yang. We drain you to death. We don't fight you. We don't waste our energy. Yes, you too. But problem is that these people now hear of it. We still do it better than they can. Go ahead, you two.
We have a couple comments. Diego says, Emitofuo, Master, we have both minds, the false mind and the true mind. The false mind helps us to communicate with the outside world, and when the true mind is the one in control, the false mind works for the true mind for the sake of all living beings. If we only had the true mind, we wouldn't be able to connect with the outside world. And then Robin's Nest says, Emitofuo, Master, usually I find that the best way to deal with people who are upsetting is to remember that all things in samsara are impermanent. At the end of our lives, if we can go to the Pure Land, there is no need to dwell on worldly things, especially things that don't matter in the long run, long term.
Don't do that. It's called self-delusion. You tell yourself, this is not real, this is not, nothing is real, I don't have to respond to this. And who the heck is thinking that way? Stop it. Cut it out.
And last
You
comment.
intellectualizing, you conjecturing yourself as something that is full of false thinking. Cut it out. Don't go there again. You're wasting your time with Buddhism. That's how you function. That's all that interests you. You're on the wrong path, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I heard your name too often to bite my tongue and encourage you in your erroneous choice of understanding of Buddhism. That's not what Buddhism is about. Continue.
Last one is a question from Sauces. Is it an offense when someone is offended by you because of their ego?
It's no offense. It's my nature to offend people because I get bored. Besides, I have no manners. But thank you for pointing it out. It's perfectly normal to be angry. But I challenge you, you're angry at me, and then make yourself better than me. Make me angry instead of me making you angry. See if you can. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master, for teaching us. I definitely want to try that technique.
What technique?
When someone yells at me, does that mean I just
I've taught only Chung Yin Nim a very nice technique. It's a much nasty one I'm not teaching him. that you will make that person drain even faster, which is very, very nasty thing to do to people. We're capable of doing that. We just don't teach our people, that's all. I do it myself personally. Yeah?
So
there's a
does that
reason
mean-
why you're practicing Chan, because every time you practice Chan, okay, you're bringing yourself to the next level of emptiness. Okay? All of you, when you practice Chan, you're developing your own level of emptiness. So this technique I taught you really works for everyone. It's just that depending on your own skill level, you will experience very different levels of effectiveness. That's all. But this is why when you fast there and you endure all this suffering here, okay, and you should stop it because it's nonsense, unless you are looking for a husband. I don't get, I have 2 Shanghai girls who are here fasting away, and every day I look at them and say, why are you doing this? Because the more you fast, the more unmarketable you become. At least get married first. Okay. Anyway, so this is the kung fu that maybe this is why Master Hsien never taught his disciples, because it can get very, very nasty if you have the wrong moral fibers. You will abuse it. So this knowledge is why I teach you only the nice ones. I'm not teaching you the nasty ones, because I suspect that your moral fibers are not quite there yet. But the point here is that when you fight people, when they're angry, here's what happens to people when they're angry. The anger in the head there is butting heads with someone else. Yes or no? Yeah? It takes energy for you to get angry at someone. Yeah? Okay? And naturally, ordinary people, including Master Hsien disciples, they immediately respond to say, how dare you get angry at me? They butt heads with you right away, and they just want to show they're stronger right away. Okay? I'm teaching you just the exact opposite. When someone butts heads with you, okay, you empty yourself. Let them waste their strength until they become weaker. Then you butt heads with them. And you have endless energy. Because the last thing you want to do is to butt heads to someone who is extremely upset at you. You don't say anything, you enter Samadhi, your Samadhi, and drain them. It's very much like when you box someone, you get into the rope and you go like this and you let them hit you. Okay? And it doesn't stop there. The more advanced you are in emptying yourself, the faster you drain your opponent. Because if you go against a king of self-mastery and samadhi here, and you dare get upset at him, instantaneously he will drain you. You have nothing left. That's how scary he is. Okay? That's why nothing can affect him at all. Because no matter how angry, how much you have, he will suck it all up. Okay? That's why he is untouchable. No one can affect him. You can yell at him, you can kiss up to him, you can do anything to him, and he's totally unmoved. How about that? For strength, for self-mastery, for happiness. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, how deep is this emptiness? Because when I look at it, it gets to the point where it goes really, it sort of disappears, but there's like a head, like there's a head there, like a seed there that's still there, and it just won't go away. But then like the next day it just disappears, so you know that it's hiding, but it's hard to access it and address it, like to look at it again.
I will not teach you anymore. Some people, you teach them too much, they hurt themselves. Next. Bodhisattva, yes, YouTube.
There was a reply from Robin's Nest who says, Master has not offended me at all. I would prefer he correct my wrong views and what's it say? Then believe my delusions. I will try to do better. Thank you for elucidating me, Emitofuo.
Very good. Thank you for the feedback. You see,
and we have another one too, Daniel 7.
You have to be careful. Buddhism is very intellectually stimulating. It seems so logical. It seems like you understand, it makes sense to you. What most people don't realize is that, excuse me, it's that understanding that appeals you to your intellect, which is extremely misleading. This is why you are stuck for so many lifetimes, especially monks and nuns are stuck on that because they love the teaching, because it makes so much sense, it's so elegant, it's so beautiful. They don't realize it's basically self-delusion. It's not the way you think. And unfortunately, most monks and nuns don't get it anymore. And let me tell you, this is a sad truth. Master YongHua is the only monk alive who's able to understand it. I've met. No one else I met alive, including second Pecha, including all those people, they don't get it. That's how scary it is. And if we don't correct you, we're producing a next generation of Buddhist fools who think they understand Mahayana, which is the worst that could happen to Buddhism. Yes, you too.
Another question from Daniel 7. Master, if we get yelled at and get afflicted, can we also focus on our dantian to empty ourselves?
Yeah, whatever it takes. Because when I yell at you and you get afflicted at me, you find out that my anger is limitless. You'll never be able to drain me. But it's worth a try. Yes, ma'am. 7.
I have a question.
this king of self-mastery in Samadhi, Samadhi here referring to the great Samadhi, meaning that he's still embracing everything without entering, like going away for entering Samadhi, right? The
No.
Samadhi is always there.
No, it's each one of us has different level of samadhis. Okay? So that's why even though I teach you to drain, to empty yourself, okay, you can only do so much of yourself. And you still have some traces there where they will hang on to you and afflict you. For this particular Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi, he contemplates his Buddha nature, the nature of his mind, and boom, he enters the Samadhi and he disappears completely. You are yelling at emptiness, truly, true emptiness. There's no trace of him at all. He's the most scary thing that could happen to you.
When you say disappear,
That's why the Bodhisattva, he does it to teach a Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas have their level of emptiness. For example, Chung Yin might be yelling at him, and he and Chung Yin will drain and become green and got on his knees. Oh, what happened to me? What happened to me? That's how scary he is, and this is how he teaches his students. Just like I taught Chung Yin how to deal with Teji, because that's how you teach Teji. Let her go into a manic state, but suck all up her energy, and that's so he gets on her knees and she shakes and says, "Oh my God, this is so tiring." That's when they learn not to yell at you. So you beat them up without beating them up. You beat them up by allowing them to beat themselves up. So be humble, because each one of us has different levels of skill set. We're talking about, I want you to understand the gradation. For this particular Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi, he's invincible. You don't mess with him. I mean, you don't know until he reveals himself. Next. Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in the Dharma, not in Samadhi, but in the Dharma.
法自在王菩萨
What does he do? According to Master Chucha, in order for this particular Bodhisattva, to attain self-mastery in the Dharma, Dharma here refers to anything and everything. Okay? So what he does is he contemplates the three truths. The truth of emptiness, the mundane truth, and the middle truth. Okay. So every time he faced with a Dharma, he faced with anything at all, and if he's afflicted, which is extremely, extremely rare for him to be afflicted, because he's the king of self-mastery, and anything happens to him, he confronts, he's never, never afflicted. Okay? Someone yells at him, someone gives him a red card, would you imagine? He's totally unaffected. Okay? Someone plays fantastic Swifty music, he's not affected. Nothing affects him whatsoever. No Dharma, nothing affects him at all. Okay? And he does it because every time he got there, because every time he's afflicted, that's what he does. He contemplates the three truths until he sheds the affliction. So he's another example of someone. What's the difference between him and the previous one? What's the difference? Okay, I don't want to teach you either. Teach you too much and then you know everything there is to know about Buddha Dharma. Yes, in the back. What's the difference between this mastery, self-mastery in the Dharma versus self-mastery in Samadhi?
So Master, the first one, contemplated the nature of the mind, and the Bodhisattva King of Self-Mastery contemplates the three truths.
No. Anyone else? Quickly. When I run out of time, I stop. ES4.
Emitofuo, Master. This Bodhisattva, King of Self-Mastery in Dharma, contemplate all the Dharma, all the phenomena outside, and the other Bodhisattva contemplate the Buddha nature that inside.
Inside, outside? What are you talking about?
This Bodhisattva contemplate all the Dharma and the...
Wait. Okay. I give you a bowl of pho.
Yes.
Tell me the behavior of the first Bodhisattva versus second Bodhisattva. I mean, you guys think it's like theory? No, this is life. This is how they live. What are you talking about? You give him a bowl of pho. Phở nghi ngút. With anis star. Our pho still has 1/2 anis star short.
I think then both the Bodhisattva will eat it. Yeah. both of them will enjoy it.
Anyone else? Master Z, what do you think happens here? Master Z has been conspicuously so quiet all evening. Okay? What do? Okay? You give him a bowl of pho to Bodhisattva self-mastery in Samadhi and self-mastery in the Dharma. How differently would they behave?
Master, I think the first Bodhisattva just leave the bowl there, but the second one can eat it.
And that's a difference?
But then if someone take back the bowl of pho, the second one doesn't get angry.
The difference, okay, he's almost there. Very good. The difference is that you give him, yes, JMT.
앞에 보살은
Have the answer for me? Your husband, does he have a true mind or not?
현실적으로 일단 첫째 제가 드릴 수 있는 대답은 누군가에게 소리를 지른다는 것 자체는 내가 맞고 상대가 틀리다는 게 자동적으로 깔려 있는 거기 때문에 네.
If I hear somebody, that means I'm right and then the other person is wrong.
그 관점으로 봤을 때는 제가 트루마인드를 가지고 있고 남편이 거짓 마음을 가지고 있다라고 자동적으로 그렇게 해서 남편한테 소리를 지른 것 같고요.
In that situation, I think I yell him because I think I have a true mind and then he has a false mind.
So your mind is true and his is false.
그렇게 아니요. 그러니까 그렇게 했기 때문에 제가 거짓인 마음을 가지고 했던 것입니다.
I did it because I have a false mind.
그리고 제가 하려고 했던 대답은 앞에 보살은 법을 관했고 뒤에 보살은 공을 관했고요. 네.
Okay.
So the first bodhisattva contemplate emptiness, and the second bodhisattva contemplate Dharma.
그렇기 때문에 쌀국수 펄을 먹었을 때 법을 관했던 보살은 쌀국수가 맛있고 짜고 뭐 시고 이렇게 쌀국수에 대해서 다양하게 즐길 수 있는 거고. 네.
Okay. It's okay. Don't translate.
네.
I only was interested in hearing whether you have a true mind or husband has a true mind. That's all. Yes, you too.
Yeah, Robin's Nest says, Master, my speculation is that because Dharma is in his name, he's an expedient teacher perhaps, one who focuses on meditative absorption, while the other one teaches Dharma.
So what happens when you make an offering or a bowl of pho to Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi, okay, versus Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in the Dharma, is the difference in the reaction, okay? The first one, self-mastery in Samadhi, when he's contemplate his mind and mind nature is mind, he's totally unmoving. You cannot touch him. So whatever you give him, he's totally unimpressed. He like stone. Whereas this guy, he came self-mastery in Dharma, he's very wishy-washy. He's, that needs more hoy. And then what happened? I wish they put in some dry shrimps, which makes it sweeter. And so this guy, one guy is totally unmoving. You can't move him at all. He's like, okay, so it's pho, yeah, and the other guy's, oh my God, this pho is so good. Oh. So you have a totally like a dead person versus an alive person. In Samadhi, he says, you can't touch me. I'm above this. Okay? Whereas the other guy in the Dharma is so wishy-washy. Oh my! I said, well, wow, do you have? Can I have some tai nam, tai sat? And he's totally engaged with you, and you know what? He's totally unmoved, but he's completely engaged with you on the surface only. That's why we cannot tell the difference. Okay? Most Buddhist disciples will be so impressed. Oh, the master is so pure. He doesn't move like Master YongHua. He doesn't move. you know. And whereas the Master Yang Shan would say, wow, this is so nice, man. Hey, do you have any more? Master Yang Shan is very wishy-washy. Master Yang Shan is the example of self-mastery in the Dharma. Okay, whereas Master Wei Shan is totally unmoved. See? So that's how they choose to manifest themselves. Okay? Does it make sense? So what's the difference, finally, what's the difference between the true mind versus the false mind? No difference. It's just one and the same. If you don't know how to use it, then it's a false mind. You know how to use it, then it's a true mind. That's all. So don't delude yourself into thinking that you know what it is. In order to be able to recognize your true mind, you must go through the training so that you consistently are able to recognize your true mind. Because your true mind, your false mind is intertwined. It's impossible for you to separate them. Whereas people who have received the training, okay, formal training, meaning that the Chan training is a very formal form of training to help you recognize the true mind versus the false mind. Okay? It's not haphazard at all. It's deliberate. Okay? There's why we put you through the fasting, we put you through the long sits and so forth. We yell at you, scream at you, beat you up. All those are designed to help you recognize your true mind. In a Wei Yang Chan, we have so many tools, so incredible amount of tools to help you recognize your true mind faster. Okay, so that you're able to utilize it. For people like Patricia, people like the scholars, they only read about it and they haven't gone through the training yet. That's why they don't know how to wield the true mind when the time comes. It's one and the same, it's no difference, ultimately. Yes, 5.
Master, when you say recognize recognize the true mind versus the false mind, does that mean at the moment, it's in the moment you see this is your true mind versus false mind and don't follow it, or follow the true mind?
When you get there, then you know. You think it's that easy? It's not. It takes a lot of training. That's why we have a Wei Yang training, because that will bring you to look at your own true mind. It's not talk. How many people have received it? Not too many people. Because you're not good enough yet. Yes, JMT.
마스터께서 좀 전에 설명하신 그게 반야신경으로 대비했을 때는 진공묘유인 거고, 네.
What Master just said is in the Heart Sutra, it says the true emptiness and wonderful existence.
그리고 좀 전에 말씀하신 대로 많은 훈련이 필요하고 그것이 자유자재로 된다라는 거는 예전에 마스터께서 보살의 경지 중에서 팔지보살이 자제할 수 있는 게 팔지보살이라고 하셨는데, 팔지보살의 단계가 됐을 때 방금 설명하신 자제가 되는 건지, 그것이 제 질문이에요.
And Master said that we need a lot of training and we become self-mastery. So I remember that at the 8th Bodhisattva, eighth ground Bodhisattva, Master said the Bodhisattva has attained self-mastery. Am I right?
Repeat the last sentence.
At the eighth ground Bodhisattva, they attain the self-mastery. Is it correct?
Yeah, on principle, yeah. But you look at this is what the theory says. This is what the great wisdom Shastra says. But in practice, you look at Xu Yun, for example. Look at second patriarch, for example. They haven't got self-mastery. Because it shows, because Xu Yun is so frightened that he has to close his eyes constantly. That's not self-mastery. He's frightened. He's scared. That's why he has to close his eyes so that nothing gets in his line of vision to affect him. Whereas this Bodhisattva, king of self-mastery in Samadhi, he opened his eyes and you give him a bowl of pho and say, okay, so what do you want me to do with it? And this is a subtle differences because Xu Yun, no one ever taught Master Xu Yun to stop it because his closing his eyes is actually very bad for his Samadhi. But he's a patriarch. You can't tell a patriarch what to do. And this is why you should be so much more grateful to Master YongHua because he's the only monk who would spell it out for you. Cut it out. Don't do this, don't do that. Okay? Whereas no other monks before him and after him did. At all. Okay, you know, to me, it's a crying shame because Xu Yun is such a great monk, such a pure monk, such an incredibly dedicated individual. And for his entire life, okay, he works so hard. And then there's one mistake he does. His entire life is to close his eyes. And no one ever slapped him in the face and say, open your eyes, idiot. Because he's stuck there his entire life. This is how damaging it is. And Master YongHua is the only other monk I know of who slapped me in the face, you cut it out, you idiot. Mistakes like that. Same thing here. We're learning about, tonight I know we BS a lot and we talked a lot. We're learning about two great Bodhisattvas, self-mastery in Samadhi, self-mastery in the Dharma. And you see, through the lens of great Master Sutra, how they got there. And it is to you, you should be so grateful for such a gift. Because even if you don't understand what we've been talking about, but in the back of your mind, your Buddha nature says, aha, I like this. You may not get it yet, but down the road in the future, your prajna, the literary prajna, wisdom will kick in and say, I like this. This is my path. You won't be as impressed by lesser dharmas because of them. Because Master Sutra spells it out for us. He says, don't be enamored by lesser dharmas. You deserve it. More than this. Okay, okay? I know it's all the same to you, but you don't realize the subtle differences, and I find it so sad for me to remind all of our Buddhist generations that Master Xu Yun went so wrong, and no one ever corrected him. He spent his entire life wasted it. It shows his disciples amounted to beans. It's not about understanding folk. It's about you having an open mind, said, this is the supreme Dharma that intrigues me, and that's what I want to identify with. Don't settle for less, folks. Because no one taught Master Xu Yun that he settled for less, a lot less than he has to. Questions, comments? Yes, 6. Just get married. Don't think so much. You say, but I don't. I haven't found someone I'm in love. Who cares?
Yeah, I also hope so. Yeah, my question is, when we're talking about true mind and false mind, is the mind here equals to thoughts? I ask this question is because every day we have a lot of thoughts, but do we need to check whether it's a truth or false?
If your mind has thoughts, that's a false mind that's active. So you should be more humble. You are still allowing your false mind to take the reins of your life. That's the bottom line. I know it's not very flattering. I know it's not what you want to hear. You want to hear you special, that we love your money. We do, but you're not special. Okay, it's a difference between money and you being special. That's all. It's not. It's about. It's a kind of a reminder of where we are. That's all. And you'll be amazed, because of the nature of Mahayana teaching is sudden teaching. So at one moment you're totally confused. Next moment you can be enlightened. Give yourself that chance. That's all. Don't say, I am not good enough. Only my master deserves it. Bullshit. Your master doesn't deserve it. You deserve it. Okay? It's the Buddha nature is in you. Don't sell yourself short. Don't settle for less. Out of love, out of whatever silly things excuses you come up with. Yes, JMT.
마스터 추가 질문이 있었는데, 그렇다면 결국에는 이 자제가 된 게 팔찌보살이라고 하셨는데, 결국에는 그것도 죄송해요, 다시 할게요. 그러니까 제 질문은 원래 그게 그러니까 됐다 안 됐다가 그 자제함을 얻게 되는 팔찌보살이 되기 전까지는 그러면 됐다 안 됐다 하는 거가 현실적이라고 볼 수 있는 거죠.
So before 8th ground Bodhisattva, we cannot. Sometimes we attain the self-mastery, and sometimes we do not attain the self-mastery. Am I right?
No. Next. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay. Next. Next question. DTT. Don't waste time. Don't go. You sink deeper. That's all. It's not going to help you. Go ahead, DTT.
Thank you, Master. 두 가지 질문이 있는데요. 제가 예전에 골반 고관절 힙 조인트를 다쳐서 그 근처를 다쳐서 이제 앉을 때마다 통증이 있는데 요즘에 이제 오래 앉을 때 고장 날까 하는 두려움이 있는데 이것을 더 오래 앉아서 돌파해야 할지 아니면 더 오랜 시간을 두면서 앉고 회복하는 과정을 통해서 그렇게 다뤄야 할지 여쭙고 싶고요. 두 번째 질문은 제가 지금 3일째 단식에 들어가 있는데 얼마나 단식이 오래 하는 거에 적절할지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Master, I have two questions. Before I got hurt my hip joint, and then whenever I sit, I felt pain. So I'm afraid that if I sit, it gets worse. So I'm not sure if I should sit longer so overcome this pain, or should I control my sitting and then give me a time to recover it?
Yeah, you should go slow. There's no need to push yourself. You're a lay person. You should go very slow. No rush. You're young, you still have time. It's not like you're old and you die soon and you better become enlightened. You have time. So push yourself a little to give your body a chance to heal itself better. And then take a break until you fully recover. And don't push yourself again. I'd go very, very slowly. It's not worth it. What's the hurry? You're going to become enlightened and then what? I said, what am I going to do with my life now? Now I'm enlightened. Oh my God, damn. Okay, take it easy. Next question. Get married or something. I don't care. Second question.
The second question, I fasted for 3 days so far. How long should I fast?
3 days?
Yes.
How much you weigh? Oh, just
75kg 정도
just
됩니다.
grab a number off the air. 7. Somehow 7 comes to mind. But I'm thinking more like 9. But am I being conservative? And because you're new with us and you're weak, and therefore 7 sounds like a good number. Especially you have hip issues, like a woman. Okay, good luck with 7. Next, JC.
감사합니다. Thank you, Master.
네, 마스터, 저 어제 법문 중에
Aren't you coming? I thought I keep on hearing you coming, and I look at you, and you still at JC.
저 화요일에 비행기 탑니다.
I'm take a plane on Tuesday.
On Tuesdays. Okay. Good. What's your question?
네, 감사합니다. 어제 법문 중에 명확하게 이해가 안 되는 게 있어서 질문드립니다. 어제 마스터 법문 중에 가족의 희생을 위해서 우리가 수행을 하고 있는데 너무 혼자 깨달으려고만 생각하지 말으라고 제가 법문을 이해했는데요. 저는 너무 이제 혼란스럽고 우울한 감정이 많아서 제가 가족을 위해서 생각하는 것들이 과연 가족을 위한 것인지 혼란스러울 때가 많았습니다. 그래서 우선은 제가 깨닫는 것까지 노력하는 거 과정 자체가 가족을 위한 일이기도 하다고 생각을 했었거든요. 그런데 그것 외에도 제가 깨닫기까지 올라가는 과정 중에 가족을 위해서 기여할 수 있는 게 또 있을까요?
Yesterday in the Dharma talk, Master said we practice because of the sacrifice of our family. So we should not try to get enlightened by myself. I'm confused and I'm depressed. So I'm not sure, even if I think I try to help my family, I'm not sure whether I'm helping them or not. So to get enlightened, for me to get enlightened is for my family, and then I'm wondering what can I do for my family before I get enlightened?
Okay. I'm sorry if I confuse you. I have a big mouth, and sometimes I speak and then I regret it. Can I take it back? I'm no patriarch. What do I care? I just speak Dharma to you because I have nothing else to do. But basically, I feel that it's important for all of you to shoot for enlightenment, because that's when you are at your best. People do not go for enlightenment only because they didn't know better. They didn't know that they're able to become enlightened. There's no need to settle for less at all. Okay? And in particular, men would like women not to become enlightened because that's how they control women, according to my theory, conspiracy theory. I'm kidding, of course. The fact of the matter is that enlightenment is something that I feel that each and every one of you should seriously consider. Why? Because you are worth it. Please don't make the mistake of thinking that it's not for you. It's for you. It's definitely for you. And anyone else, anyone who tells you otherwise, run. Because they're trying to control you. They're trying to keep you where you are so that they can have sway over you. Whereas enlightenment is self-determination, folks. You should decide for yourself, no one else. You should use your own inherent wisdom to decide what's best for you. Not your husband, not your boyfriend, not your master, not anyone, but yourself. And that's what Buddhism is about. Buddhism is about you being at your best. That's it. And never settle for less than that. Whatever you want to call it, we call it Catholicism, call it Taoism, we call it whatever, as long you go for that thing called enlightenment and see your true Buddha nature in action, okay, then your time here, your life would have been worthwhile. It has value, it has meaning, it has significance. You are making a difference. This is what I feel that's lacking in our education. No one tells our children they should become enlightened, that they deserve to become enlightened. They should shoot for enlightenment. They should shoot for fulfillment of their true selves. Why settle for less? People only settle for less because no one told them. This is so important to me. Okay? And once you become enlightened, okay, it may happen this lifetime, may happen next lifetime, may happen whatever, but the point, that's what the point of Buddhism is about. The point of Buddhism is set a goal. where it's a worthwhile goal where you can go for it. And you'll be amazed on how far you can go if you only give yourself a chance. Because, your girlfriend tells you that, no, you're not worth it. You're supposed to serve me. Okay? And vice versa. Okay? And that's not Buddhism. Whatever you want to call it, you have an enlightened nature that you should definitely draw upon and utilize it to experience this thing called your true self, the true happiness, true meaning in life. Why is that the monks and nuns don't talk about it? I don't get it. This is the most important message from the Buddha. That you have the Buddha nature, that you are a Buddha. Don't settle for less. Believe in yourself. You believe in anyone else, he will divorce you. He will leave you. But you believe in yourself, you're always with yourself. And actually, it makes you more attractive that he will not dare leave you. You say, wow, what a woman. Why would I leave such a woman? Don't worry about whether you're going to lose someone or not. Make yourself worthy. You become enlightened and people will recognize you for who you really are. Don't settle for less, please. And whatever it takes to get there. Yes, we may have to go through your husband, we may have to go through your children and so forth, but we never lose sight of that because that's who we really are, our true selves. If you like that, you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about abandoning your husband, your children, and so forth, because you have that proper perspective of wisdom, of great wisdom you're capable of. Such people are very fair, are very caring, are very good people. Okay, okay? Okay, we stop here tonight.
My
Thank
master.
you, everyone.